As you stroll through the graveyard, you hear the loud chantings of an opera lady as Brunhild and an opera gentleman singing with her. Right next to them, a beheaded knight chanting while holding his head. He was placed there strategically by Marc Davis so that people would see a knight at the opera. Get it? Still, this enigmatic character is based in a medieval ghost and comes from many frustrated attempts to bring decapitated characters in the mansion. Who is he? Why is he there? Is it true that fan fictions relate him to one of the hitchhiking ghosts? Do not pull down the bar as I tell you the story of the Headless Knight here in Stories from the Mansion. The Headless Knight was based on a popular medieval legend called the beheading game. In medieval times, a beheading game was a motif where players exchanged blows that could decapitate their opponent. Our legend shares a name with that game, but is often called Sir Gawain and the Green Knight. On a New Year's Eve celebration at Camelot, a ghostly Green Knight riding his horse appears at King Arthur's court. He asks for anyone around to chop his head with the enormous axe he carried on the condition that whoever decapitated him would have to be decapitated by him in a year and 1 day, and could also keep the axe as a trophy. Arthur was about to accept the proposal when his nephew, Sir Gawain, accepts it instead. He takes the axe and decapitates him. The ghost takes the head and shows it at Queen Genevieve. Then the ghostly figure leaves. A year later, Gawain tries to find him and ends up in a castle where the queen bestows on him a green silk which would protect him from any physical harm. When he finally finds Gawain, he only wounds him and reveals he is no ghost but a king who wanted to test Arthur's knights. This odd story comes from another Celtic story where the ghostly knight does decapitate Gawain and so goes on to decapitate someone else, representing how the years decapitate the old ones as they arrive. Gawain is supposed to be the ghost we see in the mansion, a brave, chivalrous knight who lost his head due to a beheading game. Back when the mansion was made, the Headless Horseman was considered and the decapitation gag was thought of for the bride, for pirates, and even for the Hatbox Ghost. Decapitation survives today with Constance, but one of the few decapitated characters that survived was the knight. He originally was going to sing with an opera singer to make Marc Davis's "A Night at the Opera" joke, but he had a better couple in mind and relegated the night between the opera singing scene and the executioner with the prisoner dwarf. In canon, he is from a Germanic origin, disconnecting him from the story of Gawain. But when the Haunted Mansion holiday comes in, he changes his accent to British. Since there are no clues to his identity from canon stories, why don't we analyze the fanfictions? In the fanfiction, he is an opera singer hired by Master Gracie to cheer Lillian Gracie, the tightrope walker. The opera singers decide to represent Don Juan Tenorio in the underworld and plan an outdoor opera in the close-by cemetery. While the scenery was being made, the mansion's hidden secret was planning its escape again. Master Gracie's shameful relative, who remained locked in the mansion room and kept killing relatives, escaped from his room and followed the chance of the opera show. In the middle of an important act, in front of all of New Orleans aristocracy, Gus Gracie decapitates the opera singer who was dressed as a knight. Gus continues to frantically kill the opera performers as everyone runs away. In the video game, the knight is a British ghost who retired to the mansion. He is keeper of one of the soul gems. In the Connect video game, he is a mixture of the armor at the endless hallway and one of the hitchhiking ghosts. He is evil here and manipulated by Madame Leota. In 2003, he appeared briefly in the Haunted Mansion movie as being decapitated by the executioner, formalizing what we all thought from seeing them together at the ride. In that same year, a game called Build Your Own Haunted Mansion came out and this character was called Gawain. Yes, as in the Arthur story, making this his canonical name and identity. Perhaps he came to the mansion as part of the Ghosts from All Over the World campaign, and his accent might be the old Germanic medieval English. There are 3 knights in the mansion. One is the Black Knight or Black Prince, the other is Gawain, and the third is a possessed armor which had life. So what do you think? Is the knight Gawain or someone else? What stories have you written about him? Be sure to leave them here, and I'll see you all